Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we welcomed in a lady and her gatherer husband of noble lineage, who finally is going to be taking up a role in the Harvester's Barn. We know that food is currently a problem in the kingdom. Apparently, even our safe, net we had of vegetables has basically gone down to zero because we don't have farmers. Our farmers have died off pretty much. We've got two tilling the land, but it's kind of hard for them to feed an entire kingdom all on their own. So we're kind of relying on just the meat at this point and whatever bread we had managed to bake before the farmers started dying. So I think the kingdom is going to be very grateful that finally we have someone that is at least getting us some fruit, you know? At least we have some bit of food coming in from somewhere. Now, so that was, Walter, who's 19 years old. Unfortunately, his wife Dora Stark, who has established her household, of course, she has lofty aspirations. There is nowhere we can apply her currently. I think she wants to be a baker, but Effie also wants to be a baker, and we don't have enough wheat to open up a fifth slot. All our bakers are doing fine, so unless someone like Marie croaks or something, no one's gonna get that spot. So unfortunately, we are kind of just waiting around at this point. So okay, I don't think we have any matchmaking to do because we only have our single ladies, and we don't have recruitment, bartering, or building. Well, I think on the building, actually, we are waiting on our blacksmith to make us some more tools and weapons, and then I think we should have enough. We should definitely have enough stone and iron and wood to be able to continue making whatever it is we want to make. So let us continue onwards, see what everyone gets up to. We are now up to the year 44. It is 12th April. Time has definitely been going by. Okay, let's take a look. What's happening in town? So Helios and Walter, where are they? I think up here. Helios and Walter, so the new gatherer and one of our rat trainers, our kind of less problematic rat trainer Helios, apparently don't like each other. And they kind of work nearby, actually. Yeah, if we kind of look at the route they would probably go to work at or in, they're in this area. Basically, they're hanging out with the Harvester's Barn is hanging out with the Rodent's Nest and the mine. So if anything, the people who work in these areas are going to be coming across each other a lot more. And apparently, Elias and Walter maybe took a break together. I think they took a break. Sorry, I didn't mean to click on that. But yeah, they took a break all the way up here. They decided to come to the square between the forge and the building site. Maybe they were curious about the building site, so they kind of decided to take a bit of a break, maybe take a walk. And in that time, realized that they did not like each other. Yeah, I feel like maybe Helios feels a sense of, this is my neck of the woods, because he's been here longer than Walter. Walter maybe feels as though the residents of Lakeburg should be a bit more grateful to him, considering that he is the first one to work the Harvester's Barn and to get them fruit. And I'm pretty sure we had an incident beforehand where Helios smuggled in some fruit, and he gave some to, was it Rowan, who ended up dying because the fruit was poisoned since the rats kind of nibbled on them. Maybe the rats were carrying a disease of some sort. So I can see how they would have some disagreements. I can see that. Okay, so that is one thing that's happening in town. Let's keep going. Oh, well, Oliver did not last too long. I think Oliver is officially the one resident of Lakeburg who has had the most marriages. Dude is 35 years old at this point. Let's take a look. This was his, hold on a second. Just look at the amount of spouses he has. This was his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was his 6th marriage, guys. His 6th marriage. This is a little bit ridiculous, no? I think he has history with Eloise. Yeah. He does not have history with Effie. Effie actually doesn't have history with anyone. I mean, he's 35, she's 21. I think Effie is gonna try her luck with Oliver. I mean, at this point, yeah, she's gonna try her luck with Oliver, and we'll see how it goes. It's bad. If it wasn't bad, maybe it would be average. They do have meditation in common. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Okay, they're going on a date. They're starting off at the hill by moonlight. We're going to talk about latest clothing trends or talk about good food. We're going to talk about good food. Okay, so let good digestion wait on appetite. Effie and Oliver share the same taste in terms of good food. And then we're going to go to the inn. We can say that big muscles imply a small brain, or talk about the benefits of meditation. We're going to go with the meditation. What luck! Oliver is also keen on the subject. Why don't they look for some tranquil place to meditate together? Okay, they're discussing marriage and they are infatuated with each other, so Effie might have a chance at this potentially working out. It's bad affinity right now, but they're starting off, I think, better than Sapphire's marriage with Oliver. So, okay, Oliver, you know what, Oliver, I feel like at this point, honestly, I imagine Oliver has a bit of a reputation around town. Everyone knows that he is not really a trustworthy guy. This is his 7th marriage. That is wild. His 7th marriage. And he doesn't stick around too long with any one wife. You know, he keeps kind of hopping around. But then at the same time, our female population in Lakeburg is kind of getting up there, and we don't have nearly enough males because we've had a lot of the males kind of pass away. And so even though everyone knows Oliver's reputation, he's like the only one they can pursue in town. So they still try their luck with him. For the females who haven't yet, you know, had a relationship with Oliver. And I think Effie probably fell into that kind of same loop. So now, and Oliver's lucky. He's very questionable, but he's lucky in that since there aren't that many males, he doesn't have to kind of stay on the streets too long. He's able to find a roof to be under very, very quickly. So we'll see how it goes between Effie and Oliver. Actually, with the Wycliffe family, I'm kind of curious, what are their chances of having a child? Where is the Wycliffes? Okay, they both want a child. They have an 8% chance, which is pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Okay. Well, I will let them continue onwards. You guys continue. And let's see what happens. What else is happening in town? Wait, what? Hold on a second. Forest fire. Lakeburg awoke to the strong smell of burning, and thick smoke started stinging eyes and throats. The forest is on fire. Equipped with buckets and containers of all descriptions, many villagers tried to extinguish the fire, while others cleared flammable objects to try and halt its progress. It was a success, but wood stocks took a heavy toll. Wait, we have 2,000 wood. How much was knocked off? Ugh, 30? We can afford 30 wood. If anything, that's going to help us, because we have too much wood. We need to get rid of some wood. Oh my goodness. Wait, that is not what I wanted to click on. Olive has died of hunger? Okay, guys, Olive, our mason, has... Oh my goodness. Olive has died of hunger. And Emelina has died of hunger. Emelina, our lady of the evening. Our beautiful lady of the evening. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting that. So we have now a vacancy at the mason's workshop. We also have a vacancy at the pleasure house. We have way too many vacancies. Okay, do we have enough for wood and iron? We don't have enough to increase like iron stocks, but we have enough to increase our wood stocks, which we're going to do because we sorely need that. Because our like wood production is crazy and I don't want to lose our wood. Okay. Let's take a bit of a breather. What's going on? What is going on? Well, guys, I think we should definitely check out what's happening. Yeah, now we have 2 males who are back kind of in the pool because they lost their spouses. They're out on the street. Actually, the Ash Down family. Hold on a second. the Ashdown family. Lucius. Oh my goodness, at this point, like Mabel has been passed off to so many parents at this point. Like Lucius is so far away, like he's not connected her, you know, in the least. Just think about this. Because Mabel was the child of Colette, and who was her father? I keep forgetting. Emmerich. You know, it would be kind of funny. This sounds sad, but it would be kind of funny if the way she's getting passed from step-parent to step-parent, if somehow she ends up back with her biological father. Like, I could kind of see that happening. That'd be very funny. But she was born to Emmerich and Colette, and then Colette, like after Emmerich divorced, well, Colette and Emmerich, you know, they divorced straight after Mabel's birth. But Mabel was then passed on to her stepfather, Oliver, who was married to her mother. And then Oliver married, hold on a second, Oliver married Olive. So then, and he left. So Mabel was passed on from her stepfather to her stepfather's new wife, her stepmother in a sense. And then Olive married Lucius, and then Olive died. And then Mabel got passed from her stepmother to her stepmother's new husband, which is kind of her stepfather. It's like, this child, she's not even in the family tree anymore. She hasn't been for the past 3 parents. It is kind of wild. It is wild. But Lucius, he is taking care of Mabel right now. Like, she's his responsibility at this point. They are a family, so who he ends up with is going to determine whether Mabel has a good upbringing or a bad upbringing. I mean, so far, she's kind of been protected in the sense that she has managed to stay with someone and have some sort of housing, but this could change. This could potentially change. Okay, well, we need to get some couples going, actually. So, Eloise, do you have history with Lucius? You do not. But here is the problem. Eloise is currently, she has a daughter by the name of Althea. And I think she's going to try pursuing Lucius. She's going to ask Lucius on a date. But if her date with Lucius works out, then Mabel is going to become an orphan. But we're going to do this. We're going to see how it goes. Eloise, the baker, is going to ask Lucius, the hunter, on a date. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Not with Hubert, with Lucius, which is, wow, this is crazy because she has a terrible, terrible affinity with Lucius. But this is what we're gonna do. They have disagreements on dueling and silver and gold. And I hope this doesn't work out because it's not going to be good for Mabel, but we'll see how this goes. I think Eloise, Hubert is a lot older. Eloise is kind of in the middle. She's 32 years old right now. But Lucius is 26, but you know, he is maybe closer to her age than Hubert is. So I can see maybe her trying her luck with Lucius first. Okay, let's take a look. Let us take a look. So they're starting off at the hill by moonlight. We could propose the idea of picking some flowers or talk about neighborhood kittens. We'll go for the kittens. Oh no, Mabel is screwed. Eloise and Lucius agree. Life in Lakeburg would be much sadder without its small, four-legged inhabitants. Okay, and then we're going for a boat ride at the lake. We can say minstrels disturb the neighborhood or say money creates more problems. We're going to say money creates problems. Lucius also thinks gold should be distributed equally among all. Come on, baby, eat the rich. Okay, they are going to get married and they are infatuated with each other, and Lucius, I think, is so taken up by Eloise right now in this new romance that he's not even thinking of Mabel. And so, unfortunately, it is a match. They're going to get married. Althea's going to have a new stepfather, but Mabel, guys, Mabel is going to become an orphan at 10 years old. We haven't had an orphan in a long time. At 10 years old, she's going to become an orphan. And there we go. Lucius has left behind his stepchild, and he has comfortably settled in with the Bonnet family. But yeah, Mabel, poor little Mabel, at 10 years old, she's out on the streets. I don't think this is what Colette had hoped for her daughter. And I remember talking about this back when Colette had Mabel. Like, I was worried about Mabel ending up on the streets, but I thought that it wouldn't be a problem. And for a while, she was surviving somehow, being passed off from step-parent to step-parent, but her luck ran dry is what I was trying to say. Jeez, yes. Ay. Okay, well, since we've had some deaths and such, and I think we've had some kids age up too, I feel like maybe we should take a look at some of the necessary actions, see if they're, like, where we can put someone, if anyone has changed maybe their aspirations, their goals, and for the youngsters that have just aged up. Wait, before we do this, is there anyone Hubert can end up with? Malis, I don't think has history with Hubert because she's only been with Achille. Okay, Malis is 30, Hubert is 60. They have a 30-year age gap. Oh my goodness, they have a 30-year age gap. I think Malis is going to try her luck with Hubert. So let's go ahead, see if they work out somehow. Mason and the farmer. See how that goes between the two of them. They have awful affinity because Hubert is heartbroken and widowed. But let's see how this goes. I don't know what kind of affinity they would have normally, because they agree on kittens. They both just like kittens, but they have disagreements about cuddles and the art of war. It's okay. Let's take a look and see how this goes. Right, they're at the hill by moonlight. We could talk about honor to be had on the battlefield or criticize the realm's best painter. We're going to criticize the painter. These paintings bring a lot of novelty to the pictorial landscape of this century. Of course, this art is not for narrow minds. Yikes. Okay, we're at the inn. We could criticize dueling or criticize the countryside. We'll criticize the countryside. Living in this hellhole is such a bore. Hubert also hates being woken every morning by the rooster, the hens, and the flies. Okay, and then finally, oh, never mind. They're discussing marriage. It is a loveless marriage, but at least Hubert, at 60 years old, is not going to be out on the streets. So he is getting married to Malis. Okay, wonderful. So now I think we have all of our couples done. Sapphire is the only one who does not have a partner right now. And actually, between Hubert, because with the other couple that we had, and we have 2 vacant houses, wow. With the other couple that we had, was it in the Bonnet family? Not this Bonnet family. We have 2 Bonnet families, actually. We have 2. This Bonnet family. They already have a child. So, and he's only 6 years old. So, you know, Eloise is going to spend a lot of her time, her life, probably raising Althea up. But the other family that just got together, which family is the, geez, hold on a second. Malis, where are you? Where'd she go? Malis, the Clark family. Okay, where is the Clark family? Because they don't have a child, I think. Okay, they have an insignificant one to have a child. So they have a 3% chance. Okay, that is fair. I was just curious. I wanted to take a look. Let's return. Look at some of the kids that have aged up. My goodness. Okay, we have Althea, who's now 6 years old. Looks adorable. She is the daughter of Eloise and Chris. She's mean and nimble. Okay, and Bard's seamstress. Okay, seamstress. This little one also wants to be an apprentice seamstress. So can we get her set up in the sewing workshop? Yes, we can. We already have 2 apprentices here. I'm going to apprentice her to Sapphire, actually, Althea. Althea, you are going to apprentice to Sapphire. So that should make her very happy. And then we have Cecilia Taylor, who's also 6 years old. She wants to be a farming apprentice. That's exactly what we need. Okay, and she is the child of who? She's the child of Margaret and Nathan. This is actually really cute because her grandfather, Hubert, is a farmer. And she does not like Wolfgang. Okay, but Cecilia, hold on a second, I forgot to check. She's boring. What else? She's boring and nimble. But I am so happy that we have a farming apprentice. She is going to be apprenticed to Josephine. She's going to be apprenticed to Josephine. Her grandfather works here too. She could have been apprenticed to her grandfather, but I think maybe her parents felt that she might become a little bit too distracted if she's with a grandfather and too comfortable, and she might learn better if she's with Josephine instead. Plus, Josephine is younger than Hubert. Hubert is 60, like we've established. Josephine is 44, so you know, it might be safer to get her to apprentice under someone who's a bit younger. Okay, so we got that done. Effie's unemployed. Have you changed your aspirations? No, she wants to be a baker. We, again, don't have room for that. Esmeralda, I can't help you in any way. Wolfgang, you're 10 years old. Have your aspirations changed? Nope, they have not. Dora, you want to be a baker. I cannot help you. And then Mabel. Yeah, I can't help Mabel either. Well, that's all of the changes that I was able to make with the various people that we have. And very quickly, I want to check to see if we have any pregnancies in any of the houses. So let's start off with the Knapp family and kind of skim through to see if anyone is expecting a child. Huh, it seems as though no one's that interested in no one's lucking out with having a baby, apparently. Okay, we have literally no babies on the way. That is fair. That is fair. Okay, what's this? Hubert and Eloise. Was this something that happened here? I have no clue. Hubert and Eloise have met each other, and apparently they get along, which is nice and fine. That's adorable. Okay. Well, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.